combating nutrition disinformation and general bull. It's Jimmy Rants. JimmyRants.com.
What's up, you guys? Welcome back to another Instagram Live. We're back here with another episode of Jimmy Rants. JimmyRants.com is the website if you want to check it out. We start off on Instagram Live, so go follow me on Instagram. LIVINLOWCARBMAN. That's Living Low Carb Man, and you can go follow me there on Instagram, and you can engage live on these videos as I do them. Then they're up on Instagram for 24 hours. Then we pop it over onto YouTube so you can watch all of the past episodes of these Jimmy Rants. We also have a Jimmy Rants podcast now that you can access anywhere that you listen to podcasts. JimmyRants.com is the website. And today's Jimmy Rants is all about the business side of keto. And I don't know if you've noticed it or not, but it seems like everybody and their mama is coming out with a keto line of products or providing foods and food-like products to the market to try to target all of the people eating a low-carb, moderate-protein, high-fat ketogenic diet. And so my question about this trend is making money off the hottest diet trend a bad thing? Now, I know just from my observations of seeing what people have said about things in the community, there are some people who are of the ilk that you should not and cannot make money off of keto. That's wrong, that if you make money off of keto, you're a charlatan, that you're in it for the wrong reasons, yada, 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 yada. But I'll tell you, I've been talking about this a very long time, and one of the things that's come up on my podcast, the Living La Vida Low Carb Show, every time that I've talked to various people within this space is how do we see longevity with keto? How do we see it penetrate into the culture? And this was long before the keto trend hit. How do we make it where it's more accessible, where people finally will get the information that they need? And the inevitable response by every person I've ever asked that question to, and you can go back and listen to old episodes, you'll see from like 2011, 12, we were talking about this, and the response overwhelmingly is people have to start making money off of it. Now, I know that turns some people off because they're like, well, wait a minute. The information about keto is free. Shouldn't it just be out there and people will just know? Well, think this through a little bit. How will people just know other than maybe they do a Google search and they find some information? But how do you get the word out? How do you get people to embrace it, to pay attention to it? You know, when a new TV show comes on the air in the falls, these TV stations, they are promoting the crap out of it, trying to get eyeballs to come watch their shows. And it's the same way with keto. You've got to have people that are out there trumpeting it and giving it, I guess, marketing it to the people that would want to hear it. So how do you think that happens? It happens because people make money. And I think we have to get over this end of keto where, well, it's free, nobody should be able to make money off of it. But here's the thing, guys. If people can make money off of keto, then keto, the message gets out there even more. And I think the more companies that start talking about keto, start talking about the value of healthy fats, that people start writing books. I make money off of books. And so should I not have that money come in? And am I a charlatan simply because I'm writing books about this way of eating? I don't think so. Most of the stuff I do, by the way, is free, doesn't cost you anything. But I do make money off of books. I do have advertisers on my podcast, so I make money from this. But you know what that money does? It enables me to keep doing more stuff. And so if I didn't make money off of it, what would be my motivation to continue to market it and promote it beyond like a little side hobby, which could certainly get the message out there. but doesn't it get it out there even more when my books can show up like they are right now in Costco? I have 2 of my books are sitting in Costco shelves right now. Real Food Keto and the Ketogenic Cookbook are both in there right now. That would not have happened if sales weren't happening of those books, that people weren't interested in those and they weren't buying those. So I will put the caveat on this conversation, because when I saw that the Slim Fast company came out with a whole ketogenic line of products, I knew we've kind of jumped the shark on this discussion a little bit, because you're going to see, and they're just the first of many. There's going to be a whole lot more all throughout 2019 and probably a little bit beyond that will try to get in on the keto bandwagon. If Coca-Cola comes out with a keto Coke, I'll know we've truly jumped the shark completely. But until that happens, yeah, so I really hate that there's this negative stigma about the business side of keto, because making money is not the grand devil that everybody thinks it is. Now, that said, there are people out there whose only motivation is to make money off the trend. And you know who they are. You've seen them. That you never heard of them before the last couple of years. They've never even been out there before in the keto space. And then suddenly, they're now keto experts. They're now, when you go to their websites and engage in their work, they're now promoting, oh, you must take our keto supplement. You must take our keto this. If you're keto, you need to be doing this and this and this, and we've got it all for you to sell to you. To me, those are the charlatans, and you have to be aware of who they are. I'm not going to name names. You can see them. But if anybody tells you that keto requires you to take some supplement that only they have, that's your red flag, people. Don't fall for that. So that part of the business side of keto, I got nothing, I got no respect for. I think those are the people that truly we need to be not following, and we need to move on to the people that are doing. So what do? You go find the ones that are doing the good work. You go find the ones that you connect with, people that you relate to, that are speaking your language, that are the educators. Here's the other thing. If somebody's just out there in keto and all they're doing is providing some product, but they're not educating people a little more about why healthy fats are good, if they're not educating why restricting carbohydrates is important, or anything like that, I think those are the people that you need to stay away from. The ones you do need to embrace are the people that are educating, that are giving the good information, that give a whole lot of free information. And if they happen to write books, if they happen to have products, if they happen to have other things that could supplement your knowledge of keto, and you want to support them in that way by buying those things, that's perfectly fine. I mean, I've never charged one single time for any podcast I've ever done. Every single podcast is 100% free. Now, yes, I have advertisers on there, and you can choose to support those advertisers or not. But all of it's free. I do all of these Instagram lives for Jimmy Rants that go up on YouTube. All of these are free. The only thing I really charge for are my books. So if you want to have access to the books, you have to buy the books. But that's pretty much it. I do have a supplements company called Keto Living, but I don't like ram it down your throat that you must take my supplements or you can't be keto. I would never do that, by the way. So that's kind of where we are in this whole discussion. And it's disturbing to me. I saw a Twitter thread this morning that called me and Dr. Fung and various people in the keto space all charlatans because we made money off of keto, and that we're only spouting whatever people want to hear so we could sell books and make a lot of money and yada, yada, yada. And I'm going, all right, that's all well and good, and it sounds good, and you know, some idiot from his high horse decides to talk that way. But I think we need to be very careful about why we choose to believe things that we believe. And if you believe people that make money off of keto are just charlatans and have no good motivation for why they're doing it, and that they're not using those funds to try to help create more content and or to fund things that would further along the movement, then you're not paying attention. Or if you don't believe those people you are following are doing all those things, then maybe you shouldn't be following them. This has just been on my heart a lot, and especially with the rise of keto. We've been talking about this for years. We want people to be able to make money off of this so that they can continue doing the good work. You know who does it well? Let me tell you one company that I noticed that does this very, very well, and it's the company called Perfect Keto. So Perfect Keto was started by Dr. Anthony Gustin, and they just do a really great job in the education piece of all of this. So they educate the public about what keto is. They do frequent articles. They have guest posts from people, and yeah, they happen to sell product. They do it very well, and I've seen them out there for many years. You go online and you Google something about keto, you're going to find a Perfect Keto article that will talk about whatever the topic is you're interested in. Somebody else that does it really well is dietdoctor.com. So Dr. Andreas Ehrenfeldt, a Swedish physician, started that website, and on there provide a lot of free blog posts, all kinds of information, and he happens to have a pay side where you can access videos and interviews and things that he's done, and it's a subscription, monthly subscription pay side that if you wanted to take part in it, you know, then you could do that, and they make money from that. But a lot of what they do is educational and free. So those are two examples that I'm thinking of off the top of my head of companies that are doing it the right way. What you don't want to see is somebody that says, well, come watch my video, and in a 2 to 3 minute video it says, well, if you're not getting enough vegetables in your ketogenic diet, I've got a supplement just for you. And then they show some supplement that has all the equivalency of eating, 7 to 9 cups of vegetables, and you can only get it in my formulation. Those are the charlatans. Those are the people you need to run and run very fast away from, because you don't need all of that nonsense to do keto, okay? Are you feeling me on this one? That the diet is the diet, low carb, moderate protein, high fat. The nuances of the diet, getting educated, those are the things that are important. And if people happen to make a little money because they sell books, they sell products in the process of that education that they're giving, so be it. But if they're only in it to try to sell a product, Slim Fast, and they have no interest in educating people about what keto is, that's the ones you should have no use for and move on and go support the ones who do. All right, let's see what you guys have to say. Welcome in, welcome in. Thanks for being here. Appreciate you being here. Hello, Joette from Arkansas. Bonnie Lene, it shouldn't be free all the time. How are people supposed to make a living? I don't understand that people's thinking on that. Yeah, and I've gotten this a lot. People, when I first started doing ads on the Livin' La Vida Low Carb show and some of the reviews on Apple iTunes of Livin' La Vida and all my shows actually, people say, oh, this guy's only in it for the money. Just listen, it's an infomercial for product after product on his show, and so that's all he cares about. And I keep wanting to just tell these people, why do you think I can keep pumping out new shows? Why do you think I can continue to provide content? And I've been doing this year after year after year since 2006. And oh yeah, by the way, the first like 2.5, 3 years of doing that, I made nothing. And I was able to sustain it and did it as a labor of love. If I happen to make some money from it now, is the product not worth me having some ads on there? Which again, you're not required to have to spend a single dime to listen to them. You can listen to them. Yeah, you have to listen to a few ads, but you do the same thing with television. You do the same thing with radio. You do the same thing in any other medium. So why is podcasting any different? So we provide a good product for people to listen to that is free. And if you happen to like the ads of my sponsors, then you partake in it. And if you don't, you don't. It's no big deal. But you're right, Bonnie. People, they expect people to give things away for free and not make a living. And unfortunately, if I wasn't able to support my family doing what I do, I couldn't keep doing what I do. So the fact that I can means that I can, and if I work hard enough and I can make a little more money, then I can invest that back into doing other things. I think we have to get away from this negative stigma of people making money off of keto. It's not a bad thing in and of itself. Bulletin 2018, Keto Coke. Yes, they're going to infuse it with MCT oil, Bulletin 2018. I'm just kidding. Please do not give them ideas. They've tried every incarnation of Coke. What was that one? They had a Coke with vitamins infused in it. I forget what that was called. They keep trying all kind of stuff. Hey, Sam, he says, your books have so much info that one doesn't need to buy any program or product with keto on it. Thank you, and that was the goal, which, by the way, I got your book, Sam, in the mail, and I'm real excited to talk to you on my podcast coming up soon. But yeah, a lot of books that are put out there. Here's another telltale sign that someone is not in it for the right reasons. And I've seen this of people in our community. I'm not going to name names. You can just see it when you get their books. There are books that are being written out there where they say da-da-da-da-da-da-da and the information, and then they go, and to learn more, go check out my webpage about this. And then you go to the webpage and it's some sales page for some product. And I'm like, that is tacky, tacky, tacky. I would never do that. In Keto Clarity, I don't think I sent you anywhere to go get a product per se. Or if I did, I was explicit. Hey, if you want to learn more and get a meter for testing your blood ketones, here's the name of the product, go get it. But I wasn't making any money off that. It wasn't like, go to my website and buy my version of something, which is what I'm seeing a lot in some popular keto books. Again, I'm not going to name names. You can find out what they are for yourself. Welcome in, Bonnie Lene. You're so awesome for sharing every day. It shows how much you care and are passionate about health. Thank you. I am passionate about this, and I do care all about you guys. You're who drive me. Hello, Kimberly. Thanks for being here. Fire-fueled food. You opened up this can of worms, so here we go. What's your take on Prove It, the company that makes exogenous ketones? I'll be blunt with you. They're part of the problem. The business side of keto does not need companies like Prove It. For those of you that don't know, Prove It is a company that's a multi-level marketing, MLM, and they came out several years back with an exogenous ketone product. So it's this drinkable form of beta-hydroxybutyrate salts. They were like the first company to really kind of get out there, and they chose to do the MLM model of selling. It's way overpriced, and the people that run the company are charlatans. The people that run that company have no business being in the keto world. They attach themselves to several keto people, including myself, and when it got to the point where they were marketing their product as, we will put you in ketosis in 59 minutes or less, and you can still eat all the carbs you want, that's when I realized this company didn't give a crap about you, the consumer, and all they cared about was selling their swill. And I have no time for companies like that. I will call companies like that out, and they definitely do not deserve your money. If you want exogenous ketones, I don't think exogenous ketones in and of themselves are bad, but if you're going to get exogenous ketones, get it from a more reputable company like Perfect Keto, who I talked about earlier. There's another company, Kiss My Keto, that does a really good version of exogenous ketones. They're sold at retail. You don't have to join some multi-level marketing. Those people that run Prove It, they should be shut down. They should not be allowed to be promoted in keto. If you see these idiots out there on Facebook and they're aggressive, they come into your email box and, oh, you should get Prove It. I'll change your life forever and blah, 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 and you can make some money. And that is the bad side of the business side of keto. So avoid them like the plague. Hope that helps. Education first. Yes, Naked Flavors, always. And that's always been my heart, is to educate first. And here's the fun part is, as I was educating for many years when I didn't make any money at all, I was learning. And as I was learning how to think in a way that I could interpret what they were saying, sometimes complex issues, and interpret it in book form. So that now when I write my books, I've got all this information in my head that I've learned over the years, and I can regurgitate it and then provide a fresh new product in the form of a book that people can buy, and I can support my family with, and yet I still come on and do lots of free education at the same time. You talk about other companies in your opinion, good ones, shows you care for us. I try to, Bonnie. You deserve that. Hello, Lindy, Keto Teacher Mom. I heard Allie Miller speak at Low Carb Houston. She has some amazing free educational content, but also a fantastic line of products. And Allie's one of those that's doing it the right way as well. My friend Keto Coach Lauren, I mean, she provides coaching services for people in North Carolina and around the country, and she should. She's got the education, she's learned, and she's passing that on to people. I don't think in and of itself making money off of keto is a bad thing, so long as your motivation is to help other people, and a lot of what you do is free. If somebody writes you and says, hey, I have a question about keto, blah, 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 but then you go, well, I can't answer that unless you pay me some money to consult you. That's horrible. Don't do that. People write me questions all the time, and I have an email lady that I pay specifically to provide thorough answers and links to podcasts that I've done and other information. She does that really well. Jess is her name. So if you ever write me an email and I don't see the email first, Jess will very likely grab that and she will give you thorough answers. And that's kind of a service that I offer. I don't charge anything for. And it's a valuable service if you have questions. And of course, I do podcasts like Keto Talk that airs on Thursdays, where I answer listener questions. And again, doesn't cost you anything to be able to access that content and get your answers or answers to your questions from me and from a functional medicine practitioner and Dr. Cole. So, yeah. Kimberly Jackson Simmons, hello, hello. I enjoy watching the info from Diet Doctor. The education is far more valuable. Yes, if you're not a member over at dietdoctor.com, I highly recommend it. I think it's like $10 a month is what he charges as the subscription. And you get access to all these movies and interviews that he's done with various people. It's very educational. And if you ever get tired of listening to podcasts and you want something a little bit different, that's definitely a change of pace. Please explain how keto works. You can email me at livinlowcarbman@charter.net, livinlowcarbman@charter.net. And Jess will be happy to help give you some basic information about it. But get my book, Keto Clarity, because if you're brand new to this and you don't know anything, definitely lay the groundwork for what you want to know about it. I did that in my book, Keto Clarity. But if you have specific questions about low carb, moderate protein, high fat, my email girl will help you out. Thank you for doing this for free. I'm happy to buy your books. Thank you, Mama Ors. That's what I like best. It's not expensive to eat real food, so it's a good place to start getting healthy. You can spend on what's most important to you. That's right, Nana PDV. Thanks for being here. There's absolutely nothing wrong with making money, providing a quality service, and helping others. Naked Flavors, I agree. I actually love hearing ads for new products, companies like Perfect Keto and Keto Chow, through people I truly trust. As a consumer, I prefer it. And Lindy, that's the thing. People say that I'm a charlatan because I have ads on my show for companies like the ones you mentioned. What they don't know is, of 100 companies that pitch me who they are, 95 of them I turn down. I do. Most of those companies are garbage. And I vet out and I sift through all of that morass so that when you hear an ad on the Livin' La Vida Low Carb Show or Keto Talk, when you hear an ad on there, you know they made the cut. You know they were like the creme de la creme of what I've seen out there. And again, I get inundated with all these companies, and I've left money on the table. I had one company offer me a huge sum of money, but it was like such a garbage product, and I'm going, there is no way I would ever put my name behind it. And I will tell you this too, there's some companies out there right now, I'm not going to name names, but I'll tell you the name of the thing that they're putting in there. So you guys have heard of this allulose. Have you heard about this? So it's a new sweetener. It's like a fiber-based sweetener called allulose, and they're starting to put it in all kinds of products. And one company reached out to me, and they said, hey, we've got this best keto product. Let me send you some. And so they sent me a whole buttload of their product. And the first thing I do is I look at the ingredients list and the nutrition facts. And I see in the ingredients, allulose was there. Then I get over into the nutrition facts. Total carbohydrates, 58 grams in one of these products. 58. I don't eat 30 grams of total carbs in a day. And then under the carbs, it's listed as sugar. And it was a good majority of that. And so I was like, calling them back going, there's no way in bleep I could ever promote this. Oh, well, allulose doesn't react the same way in the body as other sweeteners. And so, therefore, keto people shouldn't worry about it. And I'm like, look, I can't do that. My integrity, I would look like a fool if I allowed a company that put allulose in their products, if I would allow them to promote on my page, and then people get the product and they see 58 grams of carbs. They will think Jimmy Moore has lost his freaking mind. And so I turned them down. They wanted to give me a lot of money, and I was like, no, I can't do that. That's not integrity. Now, you figure out the labeling and you figure out why it's got 58 grams of carbs, and they gave some excuse of the FDA hasn't approved and therefore they have to list it that way, yada, yada. But at the end of the day, I got your back, and that's why I always vet out these companies. I had my first opportunity to help this week. It was amazing. I enjoyed it thoroughly. Kimberly, that's awesome. And see, that's the thing. Little by little, we all make a difference telling people about this. We'll just say it's her, or will you be able to talk through her personally? Just curious. Oh, Bonnie, when you write to me, Jess says her name and then assistant to Jimmy Moore. Email assistant to Jimmy Moore. So you'll know if it's from her or from me. I need to email you about my daughter. Excellent. Yeah, please do. All right, guys, that is it for this Jimmy Rants. Thank you so much for being here. So hopefully, after watching this today, you realize that the business side of keto, it's not a bad thing to be making money off of keto. What is a bad thing is to be making money off of keto as your sole and only purpose for being here. And it's going to be interesting in the years to come, all these companies that are gung-ho about keto right now, how many of them are still going to be around the year after the keto trend starts to wane a bit? How many of them will still be, yay, we're keto, when keto isn't cool anymore in the mainstream and the culture has moved on to something else as the hot trend? I've been around since before the trend came. I'm going to be around after the trend came. I know several companies that I'm associated with are the exact same way, that they were around before and or they were developing as this was coming along, and they're going to be here after it's over. So we got to be very wise consumers with this knowledge. All right, guys, that's it. JimmyRants.com is the website. As always, head over to JimmyRants.com, and here's how we work, you guys. I start off on Instagram Live, and all the wonderful people down here that engage in the content, asking questions and making comments. So go follow me at Instagram, Livin' Low Carb Man, LIVIN LOWCARBMAN. And you can watch the replay for up to 24 hours there. Then it disappears from Instagram. But good news, we pop it over onto YouTube, and you can watch all the past episodes on YouTube. We also have a Jimmy Rants podcast with the best of the best snippets from this here show that we do. And if you'll do me a favor, I need some reviews on the Jimmy Rants podcast. So if you have access to iTunes, to Apple Podcasts, and you want to write a review for the Jimmy Rants podcast, we put a nice little music bed underneath the podcast, so it's very entertaining to listen to. So go write us a review is what I'm asking. We need some of those up on Apple Podcasts, so thank you very much. JimmyRants.com is the website for all of that information if you forgot, and I appreciate you being here. This is a whole lot of fun. I hope you enjoy these Jimmy Rants. We got a whole lot more in store for you, so never stop watching. And if you ever have any suggestions for future Jimmy Rants, definitely leave me a comment, send me an email, send me a message. I'm not hard to find. I'm all over social media, so let me hear from you. And until next time, we'll see you then.